Shabbat Shalom. It is so lovely to share Shabbat with you. Rabbi is taking a day. I'm taking a day next week. We're trying to kind of bring it down and chill out. And hopefully we can all take this moment of Shabbat, which is our gift, to kind of all bring it down a notch and calm down together as one community. Let's take a moment now to greet each other, saying Shabbat Shalom to one another. Introduce yourself to somebody you don't know. Say hi to other people. Say Shabbat Shalom. Acknowledge this moment in gratitude. We're going to take a minute now to bring the light of Shabbat, both philosophically and physically, in the room. I'd like to invite the Kazman family, all of them, to light the Shabbat candles, and we sing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat להדליק נר של שבת in the light,
We welcome Shabbat. Not doing this, right? This is no. Okay. We welcome Shabbat with a series of Psalms. Tonight we're going to go directly to page 20 and we're going to sing Lecha Dodi together. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Mekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. פני שבת מקבלה לך די לקראת כלה. פני שבת מקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמונה העם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We remain standing for the Baruch Hu on page 28. את אדוני together on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה, אדוני, המעריב הרביב.
On page 33, together, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. You may be seated. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What would be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form?
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, ומאושים כבוד מלכותו לעולם. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 40 is the Michamocha. These are verses from Torah, which we're all going to chant from Torah in about a month and a half when the sea is parted and the Jewish people are in this great moment of elation, transitioning from slavery to freedom. And this is the melody that customarily migrates through the seasons of the year, because Jewish people love to mark time and really stop and notice. And this is the time in which we are all anticipating the holiday of Hanukkah. And this is the melody that, is associated with that. It's, supposed to invoke feelings of, bravery and the courage of the story of the Maccabees. So tonight we sing Mi Chamocha to the melody of Ma'oz Tzur. You made me a copy? Thank you. Making me a copy. Let's go. Let's do it. Page 40.
Oh לפניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Continue on page 42 and 43. This setting of the prayer brings our attention and our intention to thinking about what brings us together. It's written, this prayer is written in a kind of time of fear as the darkness comes, and we are like in the midst of the darkest days of the year where the sun comes down really, really early, and a lot of the day is darkness. And of course we think about, the darkness in our hearts. We're freezing, so that adds to the darkness. And we think about the historical darkness of the period of this holiday that we're about to celebrate in the times of like religious oppression. And so we sing this prayer to help us feel warm with each other. And we say words, Baruch atah Adonai poreh sukat shalom aleinu. God, please spread over us this sukkah of peace. We're wishing and yearning for warmth and for being together, for comforting one another, for protecting each other. And we ask God for those blessings as well. So we're going to chant in Hebrew and in English. And at some point, we're going to do it both at the same time.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from.
Let's do that again in English. Let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu, sukat shalom.
Pick your favorite.
Hashkivenu, Adonai. Let peace and friendship be a shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Continue on page 44. We're chanting. Oh, okay. Chanting Yismechu. Or Vishamru. Vishamru. We're chanting Vishamru. Also a verse from Torah reminding us that we need to keep Shabbat because it's such a gift. Let's do it.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לקראתם ברית עולם. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת
Before we begin the Amidah, here's a kavanah. In this week's Torah portion, Vayeshev, our ancestral family is in one more soap opera of sibling rivalry, perhaps the one most people know, Joseph and his brothers. Before the Greek tragedy, there was always Torah. Jacob favors Joseph over his brothers, adoring him, singling him out. Joseph, in turn, is unbearably arrogant. He is called Baal HaChalomot, a man of dreams, who dreams and interprets dreams, that his brothers are subservient to him. Eventually, his brothers can't stand him anymore. They throw him into a pit and sell him to slavery. The family is filled with strife and jealousy, turmoil, and there's definitely a feeling of imbalance. We as human beings have a sense of, we have a need to bring into our existence a sense of balance. Jewishly, the word is called hishtavut in Hebrew, a sense of balance and equanimity, if you practice yoga. But at times, it is difficult and it is impossible. The imbalance is in the structure that we're in. We all have a need to feel balanced. How can we bring balance to our lives, equanimity, when it may be societally and structurally challenging? In this Amidah, this prayer section that is upon us, we take a moment to pray privately on our own. As we do, we follow the prayer themes of our ancestors, encompassing their memory and the themes they grappled with, wishing for peace, expressing gratitude, and asking God to accept our prayers with the words, Hihi li ratzon, imrei fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'go'ali. I hope that as we pray, you can take a moment to really welcome this ambiance, this dynamic of Shabbat, this dynamic of rest, of listening, stopping for a minute and listening to yourself think. The Amidah is actually a series of prayers. It begins on page 46, and then we're going to continue on our own with our own private prayers, either the prayers of the page or the prayers of your heart. And in either case, we're going to rise together now, if we're able, as one community. And when you feel like you have concluded, you may be seated on your own at that time.
יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. At this time, we think of our prayers for healing. And you've noticed that our screens aren't working today, so unfortunately. We're going to direct our prayers to Uri Ben Ahuva, Michal Altman, Stacy Barrett, Judy Benjamin, Richard Benjamin, Larry Benson, Elena Buxbaum, Ken Christ, Eleanor Dankner, Lucas Foley, Alan Goldstein, Harriet Goldstein, Harriet Hochberg, Paige Holt, Oliver Horn, Andy Jewell, Lawrence Keefe, Simon Kent, Larry Kessler, Ashley Levine, Reese Osmond, Donna Paris, Eileen Reinfleisch, Carol Rosenblatt, Scott Sains, Esther Batsara, Dini Schlosser, Carol Sheridan, Gunnar Shields, Anita Swatinsky, Roz Terzi, Marjorie Van Dow, Lisa Wolper, Chanoch Yefet. If there's anybody that you would like to direct your prayers to that is not on this list and you'd like to say their name, please do so as my eyes meet yours. Thank you for sharing those names. We also send our prayers over to Israel, to the soldiers in the IDF that are still fighting this war, from the people in our congregation, from their families. We think of Itai Lubaton, Shira Feinberg, Meir Analek, Aminadav Blum, Evyatar Blum, Yariv Sa'ar, Sharon Sa'ar, Reuven Colton, Etach Colton, Benjamin Carlton, Hallel Tenenbaum, and Harav Nimrod Peretz Sol Ben Ziva. You sing together the words of the Misha Berach. It's on page 285. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
has become our custom since pretty closely after October 7th to pray for the safe return of the hostages in Gaza. Today it has been 441 days that 100 men, women, and children have been held captive in unspeakable conditions. Every week we have spoken specifically of one person, and tonight we direct our hearts to Avinatan Or, who is now 30 or 31 years old at this point. He attended the Nova rave party in Kibbutz Re'im with his girlfriend, Noah Argamani. Noah has since then been rescued by a dangerous military mission. Avinatan remains a hostage till this day. Avinatan and Noah hid for several hours, trying to call for rescue forces. They shared their location and let their friends and families know what was happening. Later that day, a Hamas video of Avinatan and Argamani was posted on Telegram showing Argamani on all-terrain vehicle as she calls in fear, crying, "Don't kill me," reaching out her arms to Avinatan, who is being marched away from her, surrounded by at least 3 terrorists. Avinatan's family is observant, so his mom, who was observing Shabbat at the time, did not hear of his abduction until later that afternoon, when her other children informed her of the tragedy. One of Avinatan's brothers had already been called up to reserve duty at that point and was on his way south when a friend called to tell him about the video featuring Avinatan and Argamani. Or said that her son turned the car around and drove straight to one of the television studios, telling everyone who would listen that the army should try to catch up with these being marched into Gaza. The family's life has become completely upside down since. His mother Ditsa says they're in advocacy for his release 24/7. She finds prayers and spiritual practice comforting in dealing with the stress. Otherwise, she's in interviews all over the world all the time. Avinatan's mom describes Avinatan as strong, talented, beautiful, and wise. She says he's funny and a great leader. Not much of a talker, but when he says something, he makes everything come together. Sensitive and understands people, supportive and helpful, loved and admired wherever he is. Avinatan's mom misses his hugs most of all, that he used to call her every week before Shabbat. Her message is fighting darkness with light. She yearns to make the world a place of peace and love, a strong believer of connecting with our passion and the might of our people. She prays that a solution comes before us speedily and that Avinatan and all the hostages return home safely. This prayer is not in our prayer book, but it's traditionally chanted usually on Mondays and Thursdays during the Torah service. And usually we have beautiful slides showcasing pictures of our hostages. But tonight we're going to use our imagination. You can always Google it later. Let us pray. הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה ישראל הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. If I sit here, can you all see me? All right, I'm going to try this. Always offer your feedback, of course. You cannot.
She's right there.
Okay. Thank you, Jewish people. Or do that, yeah. Great idea. Okay, excellent. Okay. A song, both words and melody, has been part of Jewish people's expression of prayer and yearning for meaning since the very beginning. In our Tanakh, the Bible, we have the Tehillim, the Psalms, which have been a universal vehicle for humanity's yearning for millennia. Through those poetic words, our ancient ancestors shared their feelings, their fears, their wishes, and hopes, which became the foundation of our prayer. We also inherited a beautiful collection actually named The Song of Songs, which expresses the most brilliant dialogue of sensual love between a woman and a man. As an aside, the woman's voice in the Song of Songs is remarkably, beautifully bright, clear, brave, and forward. Songs accompany the journey of our life and are a beautiful tool for teaching as well. On Erev Shabbat, in our congregation, it is minhag, custom, to take a moment while we are praying to study a lesson from the Torah portion of the week, a Dvar Torah, which means a word of Torah. Tonight, I want to share a word of Torah through song. Us cantors call it a sermon in song. This week, Israel and the Jewish people lost a musical giant. I'm sure that none of you have ever heard of the Israeli artist Corinne Alal, but in the interest of kiruv, which means to bring the Jewish people closer together, I wish to share a bit of her story and one of the many songs that she has written to honor her memory in how Jewish people always do, through story and song. But also because her particular story of immigration resonated with my own family's story of immigration and may also speak to the Jewish narrative of migration, experience of homelessness and yearning to feel at home. When I was growing up in the 80s, I knew of Corinne Alal. She was a famous rock singer singing rock with a sort of strident voice. I didn't really care for her, even though she was popular at the time. But many years later, as a cantor, I learned that she has written a song that we all knew growing up. I sang it on this bima in the Cantors concert we did in the spring. This song had a recent second renaissance and has practically become a secondary national anthem of Israel. I have no other land, en li eretz acheret. The words were written by another Israeli giant, poet Ehud Manor, whose words capture the expression of Israelis in Israel in the last 76 years of its existence. In February of 2023, after the most recent right-wing government was elected, the Israelis took to the streets in protest every single Saturday night. This song was heard over and over again, reciting the lines, "I have no other land," chanted in the context of protecting democracy from fanatic religious oppression. Following October 7th, this song continues to be chanted on the streets to exclaim once again that this horrible, exhausting war that has been going on is a reminder to us Jewish people that only one generation ago, our ancestors escaped from every land, either for the horrors of the Holocaust in Europe, the Farhud in Iraq, and infinite pogroms in the countries of Eastern Europe before World War I. It may serve as a constant reminder that the homeland of the Jewish people, Israel, was formed in the first place so that Jewish refugees escaping from European and Arab countries had a place to go, that we were not wanted anywhere. The first ideas of modern Zionism that began to form in the 1880s began as a result of Jewish persecution. And the reason we long to return to the homeland of Israel was because that is our biblical promised land. The place where our story begins and where we directed our prayers and our sacred words for 2,000 years of exile. That is why Hatikva, the formal national anthem of Israel, states, "We have not yet lost hope. Our hope of 2,000 years is to be a free people
in our homeland, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, the homeland of Israel. When I looked into the story of Karina Lal, it very much spoke to the Jewish immigration story. In an interview, she shared she was born in Tunisia in 1955. Her grandfather sold slippers in the market. Her father owned a factory that made chocolate. At the time, the only chocolate available in Tunisia. Her father was also an undercover Mossad agent, and when he was discovered, the family had to flee overnight. Corinne was 8 at the time. Her parents told her they were going on vacation to Paris, and only once they were on the plane, they informed her that they were actually making Aliyah to Israel and that they would never return. She shares that she was very sad. She was a happy little girl in Tunisia, and arriving to Israel was a very difficult challenge. She was a good student at school, and coming to Israel, she didn't have the language and didn't do as well, due to the cultural differences that presented acclimating challenges. I've heard stories, similar stories of many immigrants from Arab countries who left their homes with practically the shirt on their back and a single suitcase and ventured secretly at night, never to return because of the difficult conditions and dangerous journey. Like many immigrants in the melting pot experience, she didn't feel like she belonged. Hebrew was difficult. Music became her escape, the way for her to express herself in this new, strange land. As she grew as a musician, she made her way through slowly. She reflected that she felt like a leaf blowing in the wind, alone, not knowing her direction and having a hard time to know who she really is. In the army, she served in the musical troops who performed for soldiers in remote bases. She felt like a strange bird there in that format, as an expectation was that she would not only sing, but also entertain and dance, which she did not enjoy. She just wanted to make music and play her guitar. She didn't fit into the narrow mold of the system and was kicked out. Corinne expressed frustration over the years that being a woman also completely closed her off from the Jewish prayer experience. She couldn't sound her voice through prayer because that is uniquely a man's world in Israel. Being gay in those years was also no picnic and continues to be a challenge with the oppression of the orthodoxy of Judaism. That part of it may be getting worse as we speak. It took Corinne Lal 30 years to establish and root her identity in Israel. She shared that as an immigrant, she wanted to fit in, to be Israeli, to sing in Hebrew, and only later she acknowledged the need to connect with her ancestry and her mother's tongue. She became part of the foundation of the rich tapestry of Israeli music. She was known for her sensitive soul and her humanity. In a recent interview, she shared that she learned very quickly to be happy about what is right now and not wish for what can no longer be. Perhaps for this experience, she wrote one of the most epic songs that Israelis have identified with as the epitome of the Zionist experience, not as an ideal, but as a reality. That Israel is the only place that we have. We can't go back to another land. It speaks to the perfect Jewish experience of seeking to belong with your people in your homeland. Corinne Lal taught through song and music that influenced through an artistic statement the Jewish culture in Israel and the Jewish people. I had the slides of the translations, but I'm gonna translate simultaneously now, so wish me luck. I'm gonna try to translate and then I'm gonna sing it. I have no other land, even if my ground is burning. Only one word in Hebrew penetrates into my veins, into my soul, with a painful, aching body, with a hungry heart. This is my home. I shall not be quiet because my country has changed its character. I will not give up. I will remind her, and I will sing to her until her eyes will open up. I have no other land, even if my land is burning. Just one word in Hebrew courses through my veins and my soul. אין לי ארץ אחרת, גם אם אדמתי בוערת, רק מילה בעברית
חודרת אל אורכי את נשמתי בגוף כואב בלב רעב כאן הוא ביתי לא אשתוק כי ארצי שינתה את פניה לא אוותר להזכיר לה ואשיר כאן באוזניה את שתפקח את עיניה We begin to conclude our service with Aleinu. If you're able, please rise. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. יהיה Please be seated. We're on page 294. Our thoughts turn to those of us who are no longer with us, our loved ones we've lost either in the past year or whose yahrzeit we're marking tonight. I invite you to rise when I call your loved one's name. We're offering our condolences. We're in the period of Shloshim for William Levine, Philip Needles Williams, Mazal Yefet, and Melvin Miller. We are also, in this time, thinking of Sophie Alter
Abraham Auerbach, Edith Farbin, Samuel Farbin, Abraham Feingold, Judith Flatow, Francis Cantor Fleischman, Richard Hess, Arthur Lefko, Jason Allen Lewis, Cecile Lieberman, Abraham Lupkin, Alfred Mazur, Mary Mazzarella, Benjamin Meltzer, Alter Milberg, David Muller, Marcella Pavlonis, Ted Phillips, Lawrence Ross, Romaine Sack, Abraham Sarnoff, Rose Sayet, Howard Schulte, Hattie Siegel, and Marlene Tanser. We rise as one community, as is our practice, to chant Mourner's Kaddish together. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריך הוא. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, seated. Adon Olam is on page 321. צור חבלי בצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. We're going to do Kiddush. I'm going to call up all the kids, even if you're after Bar Mitzvah. And I know who you are,
So don't even try not to come up. No. Let's go. Caleb, faster. Let's go, Ephros. That includes you in the category as well. You're still a minor. You're not? You're 18? I want to see ID afterwards. You escaped this time. All right, let's go. You hold it. You're getting here first. Do you know the words by heart? Hopefully. Good luck.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziyat mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uratzon hinchaltanu
Lift.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. Okay. I think you're the only pre-bar mitzvah you get to do motzi. Are you, seriously?
He knows what he's doing.
Let's go, motzi. Motzi.
Come on, you can do it. Just mouth it. There's no escape. Dude.
All right, Matthew, save me.
Where are we on the page?
We're nowhere, it's motzi.
Okay, all right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz
Shabbat
shalom.
You don't get challah. Eat. Thank you for coming, big kids. Thank you for coming up. All right. Thank you to our choir, Kolot Or, for leading us so beautifully. I neglected to thank them amongst many other things. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Join us in the Oneg, please.